How we doing, Husker fans? Shane Powers here, redwhitecornsports.com, and coming to you right now just to talk to you about a headline that came out this afternoon during Matt Rule's press conference, and it clears up a lot of things. Still leaves some questions with a lot of things with regard to Micah Mooka, Nebraska's transfer right guard from Florida. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know right here, right now. Before we jump into it, guys, if you haven't already, smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, and leave your comments and feedback at the end of this video below. That helps grow the channel. I can't do it without your support, Husker fans. And you all know we have the greatest fans in college football. Show your love, show your support, like, subscribe right now. Okay, so we have to talk about it. It's been going on for a couple of weeks now, the speculation about Micah Mooka, the right guard transfer we got from Florida during the offseason to kind of shore up that offensive line. And I haven't seen much of him since the Colorado game. Haven't seen much of him. He didn't play against Northern Iowa, didn't play against UTEP. And both those games, Matt Rule said he was out, and I quote, working through some things. And both those games, he didn't play on the line. I think we saw him on a couple maybe field goals or special team plays. We never saw him on that line. And instead, right guard Henry Latosky was taking the reps in that spot. Now, last week we thought, a lot of people, myself included, thought he was in line to play last week and travel to Purdue because Matt Rule made it sound like he was close to coming back from whatever he was going through. And then social media blew up over the weekend. People said they saw him going on a flight to San Francisco or something, when the rest of the team was going to West Lafayette to play the Boilermakers. So obviously, I try to stay away from a lot of speculation and stuff. I didn't hear from anyone credible saying he didn't travel until right before the game when it was announced that he was not with the team. He didn't travel with the team. Okay? Still, I'm not going to sit there and speculate. A lot of people speculate and say, if you read through social media, I'm not going to repeat those rumors about the things he did or what's going on. All I know is Matt Rule says he's working through things. To me, that could be a family emergency. It could be a health issue that he doesn't want disclosed to people. It could be a disciplinary issue. It could be academic. I don't know. Not my place to speculate until someone like Matt Rule or Micah Mooka comes out and says. So I respect that. Now, after the game, the Purdue game on Saturday, Matt Rule said, "Hey, look, Micah didn't travel with us, but he's still with the team." Okay, and he said, I will clarify that, or I will give more information Monday. So fast forward to today, Monday, you guys listening to his weekly press conference. He says, midway through last week, and unexpected to him, and not having to do with whatever Micah was dealing with before that sidelined him, head coach Matt Rule said he was suspended for one game midway through the week. Didn't elaborate. So again, obviously, that's disciplinary, right? It could be academics. It could have been, missing practice. It could have been whatever, right? I said I wasn't going to speculate. Those are some speculative things. I get it. But I'm not going to dive deep into what it could be. Obviously, if you're suspended, it's for a reason. And until Micah Mooka tells us, or Matt Rule tells us, or Satterfield or someone, it's none of our business. All I know is Matt Rule said he was only suspended for last week's game. He will be available this game versus Rutgers. But Matt Rule said, this is the critical and most interesting part. Matt Rule said, and I quote, he's a backup to us. He's our second string. He's a backup player to us. He also kind of made a comment that, hey, look, you guys have been making a lot about Mooka over the last couple of weeks. To us, he's a backup. What's the big deal? Just a backup right guard. Well, he was the starting right guard versus UTEP, and going into this year, he was the starting right guard on the depth chart, right? Now, he played, I think he started against Colorado. He played some, but I think Henry Latosky came in to finish that game before even the rest of the backups came in. Henry Latosky played against Northern Iowa, played against Illinois, and he played last week against Purdue. Now, I think Husker Nation and, the Husker fans have this thing where they really tout Mooka as being like this really all-star offensive lineman. I'm not saying Mooka can't be. He was graded out pretty good at his time in Florida, but people say things online like, well, he's our best offensive lineman, he's got to play. I don't know where that comes from, frankly. we have some good pieces on that offensive line, and I don't know why Mizuka, who's played one game, would be considered our best player. Now, transferring out of Florida, coming to us, he was graded out of 75 on PFF. All right, that's a pretty good score. Pro Football Focus, right? Now, the one game he played until the rest of the start backups came in was against UTEP. He graded at a 68. That's against UTEP. Probably the worst defensive line we've played so far, objectively speaking. Henry Latoski, who's played against Colorado, he's played against Northern Iowa, he played against Illinois and Purdue last week. He averages about a 67 on a PFF grade so far this year, and he graded, I think, at a 68 or 69, somewhere in that, against Purdue this weekend. So, just looking at it from that standpoint, Latoski's played a lot better teams than UTEP's defensive line. He's grading the same as Micah Mooka has, at least here at Nebraska. So, you know, Latoski's a starter. I don't, it's no big deal. We're not losing some great piece there. Now, I'm not saying Mike Mizuka doesn't have, maybe he's got the ability to be a rock star on that line, but the one game he played for us all the way through, he didn't showcase it. And Matt Rule's not playing him for a reason. So it is what it is. The other piece, obviously, is we're on our third string left tackle. Teddy Prohaka in the fall camp, I think it was an ACL or something like that, right? And then Turner Cochran we had at the left tackle, and everyone was panicking before the year about Turner Cochran, saying, "Oh, he's going to be such a liability." Turner Cochran did good through the games he played, and then he got hurt. Now we have redshirt freshman Gunnar Katula there at that left tackle spot, and Gunnar Katula's been doing just fine. I think graded out of the 68 last week as well at that tackle spot. So, guys, I tell you all this to say, is there a reason to panic about our offensive line? The answer is no. The answer is absolutely not. That offensive line with Gunnar Katula and that with Henry Latoski, at times last week against Purdue. Now, Purdue's not the best team in the Big Ten, but they're a Big Ten team. They got big players on that line. They've got some good defensive players on that line too, by the way. Sometimes Raiola had all day in that pocket to throw. Now, at times we struggled with the upfield running game. I get it, but down the stretch we really came along. At times we were averaging 5 yards a carry. That's going to be more consistent across the board. But all in all, is there a reason? Is there any reason to be concerned about this offensive line? The answer is no. All right, let the Mizuka story die down now. It's over with. It's in the past. If he ends up starting in the future, good for him. I hope it all works out for him, whatever he's going through. But, guys, the offensive line is just fine. There's no reason to panic, okay? Guys, if you like this type of content, again, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment with your thoughts in the comments section. That helps the channel grow. Again, greatest fans in college football, guys, show some love. Help me grow this thing.